Hi, everyone. This is Brandon with Gana Trucking coming to us again with another reminder video. Today, we're going to talk about something just briefly that every single person in the company touches multiple times a day. Okay. We're going to talk about T-Sheets, our time tracking app, our time card app that we use on our phones. Okay. This is going to be old stuff for a lot of you, but there's some newer employees, some brand new employees on board with us. So some of this stuff is geared towards them as well. So bear with us. We're going to go over a lot today, but it shouldn't take too terribly long. Like I said, we're all pretty well versed in it. Once you've been here a week with the company, you pretty much understand T-Sheets for everything that we use it for, certainly. But we're still going to go over some of the stuff. So let me just get started here. Okay, so the first thing you do, very first thing, basic stuff here, you got to download the app. This big green circle, that's what it'll look like if you go to your app store or your Play Store. You can search for T-Sheets, or you can search for QuickBooks Time Tracker. Okay. It was T-Sheets when our company adopted it a couple years go by, and it actually got bought by a company called QuickBooks. So now the official name for it is QuickBooks Time Tracker. Okay. Search for that, come up with this big green symbol here, download that, get it installed on your phone. Now, the first time you sign in, just as friendly suggestion, is be on Wi-Fi when you do it. The very first time you sign in with your username and your password, it is going to take a long time. It's going to have to sync up every customer, every job, every task that we've ever done. So it's helpful to be on Wi-Fi just so you don't eat up all your data, and so it goes a little bit quicker. That being said, even when you're on Wi-Fi, it is still going to take 15 to 20 minutes. Is not unreasonable. It's literally bringing over thousands of jobs and things like that. Now, that's the very first time. Once you've signed in once, it goes lightning quick after that point. It's just that first time that I recommend being on Wi-Fi to hurry things up. So once you get signed in, here is the actual home screen. This is home. You can get to everywhere you need to be right from this place here, okay? First thing, your settings, BG, it'll have your initials there. Those are my initials. If you click on that, it'll get you to your personal settings. You can actually change your initials to any photo you want. A couple guys have done that. You can change your password, change your preferences, all right there, okay? And the next place you go, this little gauge here, mine's not very impressive. It's all zeros. I'm going to show you your current shift, okay, what you've currently been clocked onto for that day. You can also scroll over here. You can see what you did for the week or what you did for the pay period, okay? Down here is going to be your summary of time worked. That just gives you a breakdown over your week and pay period of what you've done as well. And down here is your navigation menu. This is your home screen. So if you hit overview, that's the technical term for it, I guess. It's your overview screen. I call it the home screen. Hit that. It'll always bring you back to what you're looking at right now. The time clock one here, you hit that. That'll take you to your actual timesheet, which is where we're going to go next. And that's where we're going to spend the most time as well. Hit this timesheets button here. That'll take you to prior timesheets. Any timesheet you've ever done on this will be there. Schedule to the right of timesheets right there. We don't use that one. We might in the future, but right now we don't. And then more, obviously there's some other less used functions there that you can check out as well. Okay. And if you scroll down on that sheet, main screen overview, still highlighted, scrolling down, you can also see the available time off, what you have banked for paid time off right there. And then if you go right here, this will take you to your actual time clock, okay? And this is where we're going to spend the most of our time here. So this will take you to your actual time sheet. So if you click on that button, the time clock, it'll bring you here. And this is what you have to sign into, okay? So very simple. The dates and stuff and times auto-populate for what it is right now when you start your shift. And you select your customer, and we'll go through all the details of this. But first thing you do, select your customer. Then you would select operations, trucking or excavating, depending on what you're doing. And then you would go down here and select the equipment you're using or the task you're going to be doing. Work performed. This one's kind of less defined. There are drop-down options if you were to click on it, but you can also type in what type of work you're going to be doing here. Okay. Add a timesheet note. This is an optional field. You don't have to do this to be able to clock in or out, but it always allows you to add a note if you want to communicate anything to the managers. Anything you type in here, only people back in the office will be able to see it. Usually what it's used for and what we like to see it used for is an explanation if your time runs a little long or there's something that's going to catch people's attention, I guess I'll say, about your time card. Why were you at this job site for so long with no equipment moving? Well, because they were fueling it. Just write in, fueled it while I was there, things like that. Just note down anything that may raise questions about your timesheet. And once all those are done, you just hit the clock in button. Now, I know I went over those fast. We're going to go over each one of those fields in a little more detail here, but it's really that simple. You can't clock in until all the required fields are done. So just know that too. Okay, so this is selecting customer, the first field. Always ask what job you're on if you don't know. Ask your manager, they'll help you out. It's a lot easier if we get you in on the right job rather than you trying to guess what job it is. And don't presume you know if you're going to a place for the first time. If you know the job name, or hopefully you better know the job number, you can search for it up here. Just hit the little magnifying glass and open up a search field. You can type in whatever you want, job number, job name, and it'll bring up a narrowed list of options that you can choose from. Okay, and then to select it, obviously you just hit it with your finger and it'll select it. Now you'll notice a lot of these jobs here have numbers after them. Not all of them, like this one just above the highlighted one, the Sotillo doesn't. Those are our job numbers. Those are Gana Trucking job numbers. That's the easiest way to get signed in correctly if you just ask for the job number. Okay, and again, always ask if you do not know the job. It's infinitely easier to make sure your time cards are right if they start off being right. Okay, these are very important. We bill customers based off a lot of this time, so if it's not set to the right customer, we might not bill that customer correctly. Okay, again, I know I've said it a couple times, job number is always best. Whether you're searching by job number or you just see it there, always ask for your job number if there is a job number. There's less chance for error that way. Okay, so we went through the customer. Now select operations. Once you get into here, if we chose equipment operations, you could have chosen trucking as well. Then it'll bring up a list of sub options. It can be labor, mini X, motor grader. It doesn't have to just be equipment. If you're working in the office or something, there's safety meeting in here. There's hold for repair in here. I mean, this one's even got Roca dispatch. Again, if you don't know, ask. I mean, most of the time it's pretty self-evident that if you're running a motor grader, I'll just sign in under motor grader. Again, there's a searchable field up here that you can always search for if you don't feel like scrolling around. Okay. This is the notes section. Again, it is optional, but it's very helpful. Anything you type in here, there's a 2,000 word limit, not 2,000 word, 2,000 character limit, which should be more than you'll ever need. It says only seen by you and managers. Now don't abuse that. Keep it professional and just about the timesheet. Write in anything that may cause someone to question a timesheet. Again, equipment breakdown. Why wasn't this equipment running for an hour and a half? It was broke down. I was waiting on a service tech. Why wasn't this equipment or this truck running? It was fueling. Maybe you're at a job where they require a toolbox meeting every morning. There's a lot of jobs like that. You can type that in there too. Okay, just anything you think might raise some eyebrows with the time card or anything that you need to convey to payroll or anything like that, you can put in here. Okay, and then once you hit that, you hit save, and this will bring you, and then you hit clock in on the time card. And this is what a signed in time card looks like. Okay, and this one's been signed in up here for 15 seconds, it looks like. 0 minutes, 15 seconds. So it'll have a running total of the day. There's the customer, there's the division, there's the equipment, there's the work performed, grade dirt by storage. There's a note, I just wrote the word there. A couple of things more on this page, attachments. You hit that little plus button there under attachments, you can take a picture of anything, whether it be a scale ticket, an EWA, some special instructions, a rental truck ticket, anything like that. You can take a picture of it and attach it. It'll go right with your time card. It'll go to the scale house. They'll see it. Payroll will see it. So if it's a work expense or something like that, you can add that on there. Most of the times what we use it for are truck drivers putting ticket information on there, but it attaches it forever to the time card. So that's a handy little device right there that can save a lot of time. Now these 3 buttons down at the bottom are what you can do. Take a break, clock out, or switch. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. If you're gonna just go to lunch or take a break, don't clock all the way out. Just hit the take a break button. That way it'll save all this information up here for when you want to clock back in. Only use the clock out when you are done for the day. Okay, so at the end of the day, got everything done, put your attachments there, put any notes in, hit clock out. Okay, now if midway through the day you change what job you're on, you change what customer you're going to be working for, you change what equipment you're going to be running, any significant changes, you hit the switch button and it'll basically start a new time card that dovetails right into your old time card. So if you were on 1121 Hilltop and now you're going to another job, you hit switch, find the job, find the customer, find the operations, find the equipment operations, and you're done. Okay, it just continues your timesheet with new information. Okay. Hi, everyone. Excuse the edit here. That's why my background's changed. I forgot one thing when I shot the original video that's very important. If you go to switch jobs throughout the day, it's going to ask you to change some of this information. Make sure you get it all changed when you hit switch. And the way you know that you got it all changed is this will restart from 0. If you switch jobs and this doesn't restart from 0, you haven't actually switched jobs. So whenever you switch, change out all the information you need, and then make sure this starts from 0 so you know you've actually made the official switch. Sorry for the edit. That's all I had on this one. Now these are your old timesheets, okay? You get to here by the button at the bottom that just says timesheets, okay? This will bring up every timesheet you've ever worked on. So this will bring up, you can just review your old timesheets when you're reviewing your pay stubs or anything like that if there is a discrepancy, but it also brings up some options you can use, okay? First one is you can add a timesheet. If you literally forgot to clock in for a whole day, you can do it right here, okay? You just hit that and it'll bring up a timesheet. It'll still have to be approved, of course, but that's something you can do. We're going to spend most of our time is edit timesheets, okay? Every day, a lot of people make mistakes. They're simple mistakes usually. I forgot to clock in right away when I got here. I forgot to clock out when I left. I clocked into the wrong customer. I clocked in under the wrong equipment. Anything like that, they happen every single day and we can fix them no problem, okay? It's very easy. It's so easy that we'd appreciate it if you tried to fix them before you called in and have somebody else fix them, okay? And to do that, what you do to fix it yourself is first you just find the old time card. Maybe it's yesterday's time card. You click on it and it'll bring you to this page, okay? And this is your edit options. Here, these are your edit options that if the sheet has been approved by a manager and it'll have the word approved on it, then you can't edit anything on it, but usually you have a few days before it's approved. So if you know you made a mistake, please go in and try to fix it yourself first. If you can't, that's fine, call it in. But it will save a lot of people a lot of time, and you're the one who's going to know if it's accurate or not if you can change it yourself. It'll help the managers out, the dispatch out, if you give it a crack at change and making the edits yourself. If you know you make a mistake, it just saves a lot of time here, okay? So if you want to edit this old timesheet, you click on these 3 buttons up here. When you do that, it'll bring up some options, okay? First one's edit timesheet. That one's pretty simple. Now it also brings up another option, insert break. If you were clocked in for 12 consecutive hours, then you realize I didn't clock out over lunch, you can go put in your lunch right there. But most of the time you're going to go with edit timesheet, okay? So if you click on the edit timesheet thing right here, it'll take you to this. And it's really, really simple here, okay? Try to make the edits yourself as soon as you catch them. Do it while it's fresh. If you just remembered an hour ago that you made a mistake, do it right then, okay? Confirm all fields are correct. While you're in there making edits, check everything. So you can just click on the time over here, and you can open that time up. If you really clocked in at, or should have clocked in at 7 in the morning, you can back that up. If you should have clocked out at noon, you can back that up, okay? If you clocked in under the wrong customer, you can change that here. If you were under the wrong division, different equipment, doing different types of work, or you want to change your notes, you can do all that here. You can change any of these fields. And then once you've made the changes you want, confirm it's all correct, you just hit save timesheet. I mean, it really is that simple. So we would really appreciate it if you'd always try to fix your mistakes yourself. If you can't do it, or you're having questions, by all means, call it in so we can get it right. We can help you out. But give a crack at fixing it yourself first if you could. Okay, this is add timesheet. We had that before where it gave you the options of edit or add. This is adding a timesheet. It'll, once you get in here, choose your date, choose your time. Again, all the same stuff as a regular timesheet. This one's a monthly meeting. I have to put that in. Maybe you've got to clock in for that day, and then you just hit save timesheet again. It's just inserting an additional timesheet in the field of old timesheets rather than doing it in real time. Okay. Paid time off. Okay. Now here we are. This is the main screen again. This is the home screen, the overview screen. You can see it highlighted there. If you want to go to paid time off options, you scroll down and you hit time off down here. It'll bring up this whole field. There's a couple of different ways to get there. This is the easiest way that I found, but there's other ways to get to that screen too. Okay. So you just click on there and it'll take you here. Okay. Now, there's a couple things here. First, you can click over here and it'll show you your balance. The balance, I hesitate to say, is 100% correct. It's going to be correct most of the time, but we keep track of that more in our payroll system than we do our timekeeping system. So if something looks off, just call in and ask a question because there's a fair chance you might be right. Okay. And then to take time off, first you make sure you're over here and then just hit request time off. Now, one thing, make sure when you request time off, you do it the week before the pay. Okay. So if you were to do it today, it would be on next week's pay. Okay. If you try to do it the same week that your paycheck's going to be coming, that just creates a whole lot of issues and you can't really do it that way. So if I know I'm taking, today is Wednesday, February 23rd. If I know I'm not going to work today, I'm taking the day off, do it right today. Don't wait till the following Monday to do it. That creates some nightmares for us. Okay. So you just click on request time off and it'll bring you up right here. It'll come up with a couple options here. Now, the only one you should ever use is vacation here. Guaranteed hours, we put those in the office. So you can put them in if you want. They're going to be wiped out and we're going to put them back in our way. Holiday, we put those in. Sick pay, we don't differentiate between vacation pay and sick pay or anything like that. Okay. But vacation pay, that one is the only one you'll ever choose. So you just click on it. This is really simple. And then you just add a day. So for me today, it would be February 23rd, 2022, specifically. Add a day, 8 hours for today, add any notes you want, hit save, and you're done. Okay. It's that simple. I know I went over a lot. I also know I went pretty fast, but these are the main things you're going to use day in, day out. Now, there's always going to be little quirks to it that I might have missed something on. The biggest challenge I'll tell you that we run into is when an update goes through. And sometimes you got to sign out and sign back in. It's just like any other computer because essentially that's what this is a computer program. You just got to reboot it once in a while. We try to catch those as soon as we can. Usually it's right away in the morning. We have to send out a mass message to everybody saying, sign in, sign out of your, or sign out and then sign back into your T-sheets. Okay. Sometimes if they do a serious update, you will have to uninstall it and reinstall it on your phone. I know I've had to do that a couple of times. That's very rare, but it's a computer program and they're always fiddling with it, improving things, putting virus software on there so nothing gets infected with virus or anything like that. So there's constant updates, just like any other computer program. Or TVs now, you have to update as well. Okay. Oop, a little behind there. Just some final notes to say. Be sure to stay current. I know I showed you a lot of options where you can go back in and add time and stuff like that. Don't do that. Just sign in on the job whenever you possibly can. Okay. Try to make that the best habit you possibly can. That saves everybody a lot of headache and grief. Okay. Just stay current. Sign in when you get there, sign out when you leave. If you don't know the customer, ask. If you don't know something, ask, and so we can get it set right from the very beginning. Use the notes section as much as you can. Saves a lot of phone calls and a lot of head scratching trying to decipher what somebody was doing on a job if they just put a simple note in there. If you have a question, ask a question about the customer, about what you're supposed to be doing as far as the task or the equipment section, anything like that, ask a question. And 3, catch errors and edits as soon as you can. It is much easier to fix something at 8 o'clock in the morning when somebody says, I forgot to clock in at 7 o'clock today when I got here, rather than they call in the next week and say, I forgot to clock in on one of the days next week. It looks like Tuesday. Can you put that in? Catch them as soon as you can and edit them as soon as you can so we can get it fixed. Okay. That it has a lot of bearings on billing customers, on payroll, on just a lot of efficiency stuff here. Okay. If you have any questions, please ask one of your managers. Thank you.